This is Bishop Dr. Truman Burst. Master Herbalist, coming to you from Good Shepherd Ministries.
Thank you for joining us, by the way. My name is Bishop Dr. Truman Burst, and I do natural remedy research, and I pray a lot because these are really tough times. I'll tell you, you need to pray a lot in these tough times. So, and any time anyway. But the thing about this is, we have a report here that I'm going to talk about today. And I just want you to know who I am and what I'm doing here. I've been doing this broadcast now for over a year. And we've had technical difficulties because what we've done with all this screen capture and bringing in reports and creating audio videos and linking up with the linking up with also with Google Hangouts, to where we are now also creating an audio a video, and and you can join us if you want to over audio video, and so there's many ways to join us: over the telephone, over your computer with audio video. And that's all listed along with many of these reports that we're talking about and that I've done the research about for the past 55 years. And all that research and all that information and these videos, it's all on herbalhealthreview.com on the website. Now, if you don't have a computer, you can go to the library. They'll let you use their computer and go to the website, herbalhealthreview.com, and click on common conditions, and it brings up all these reports about cancer and diabetes and heart disease and so forth. And we're not prescribing, and we're not diagnosing, and we're not promising cures. That's all against the law. That'll get you persecuted and prosecuted in a real hurry here in America to doing that. And because that's not what one should be doing. The Lord does the healing in the first place. I don't do any of the healing, and I don't promise cures, but I can promise the Lord can cure you. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I am that I am. Ahaya Ashar Ahaya. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior, Yahshua. Yes, when you call upon the Lord, yes, you're going to receive a healing. He promises it. And that's what the Bible says. And I'm a minister, so that's what I preach, and that's what I believe. And I keep the faith. And I'm called I used to manufacture all these natural remedies, but I became so prosecuted and persecuted that I never did any time. They never won. They lost. They didn't, but they don't quit. They're merciless. We're talking about the government. We're talking about the FDA. They're merciless. And that's what I told a federal judge. And the federal judge told the FDA to leave me alone. So they leave me alone. As long as, but they didn't want that website, herbalhealthreview.com. They didn't want that to exist. They said, oh, he's got this website and it's got all this information and it's linked over to where you can get the products. And that's against our rules. You see, the FDA creates rules that that are just unfair, and then they favor drugs, and they favor chemicals that harm people, and they get and then these drug companies get sued all the time. You see these ads on TV and hear them all the time. If you've taken this drug, go see that attorney. If you've taken the other drug, go see another attorney, and on and on. It's ridiculous, and yet they're the police force that controls food and natural remedies, and they are grossly overreaching. And so that's my topic today. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that report because there's new information coming in with new rules from the FDA that take away your rights to have natural remedies. That's correct. And if you do want them, the price is going to be skyrocketed because the manufacture of them is so prohibitive. You have to have $1 million herbarium. You have to have $1 million worth of testing equipment. You have to have it goes on and on. And you have to then be subject to their fines because that's their mafioso extortion racket. And that's what I told the judge. Judge kicked him out of court, but that didn't stop him. They continued to persecute my family to this day. Drove my daughter out of business. My daughter handed a business, a ministry. It's a ministry business because there's no money in it, and it's not for profit. And we manufacture all these natural remedies and created a inexpensive way for you to get them, and put all of the research and so forth together so that you could be educated about them. This infuriated the authorities. So to this day, although the Health and Herbs is in total compliance, they are complying with the FDA, even though their business is obstructed. They are harassed, and this goes on a daily basis. They just keep demanding and demanding. So that's my topic today. What new rules will now affect America worse than ever before? It's bad now, but now it's going to get worse. And I want to explain why and how. But that's my topic today. FDA massive attack on supplements. Okay, you need to know about that. But I want to give you a few telephone numbers so you know how to reach me after the broadcast. If I haven't addressed your issues, or if you haven't had a question that I didn't answer because we didn't have time or something, call me after the broadcast. My telephone number is 503 362 5899. That's 503 362 5899. Call me after the broadcast or anytime so that I can make sure and address issues that you'd like to know about, because that's what I do, is talk about specific issues, and I don't prescribe or diagnose because they put those kinds of people in jail and they're mean to them. And I don't do that. But I make sure you get the information specifically on issues that you're interested in. And then I point to the research. I point to the education. Where, see, the idea, if you're a true healer, is to work yourself out of a job. That's right. If you're really any good at helping people, they get well, they get better, unless they fail to do the remedy. You know, I just got off the phone with somebody who said, this has really helped my diabetes. I'm feeling better, but I'm not really taking what I'm supposed to. I don't take it regularly, but I am feeling better. Should I continue? The answer was yes. And get serious. you know. So people have to take these things. It's one thing being educated. It's another thing to use that education. So anyway, my telephone number is 503-362-5899. Wanted you to have that telephone number. If you wanted to email me and correspond with me on email, my email is Truman, Truman, at healthherbs.com. Truman at healthherbs.com. That's how to correspond with me at email. And any of the products that I am talking about are manufactured by Health and Herbs, and I get nothing from it. And if I did, that would be another reason why the government should attack me. So I don't. And because I don't want to offend the government. Because they attack herbalists that are getting anything from their work. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm living proof of it. So I don't get anything from all of the 14,000 natural remedies I created in 55 years. I get nothing from the sale of any product. I work solely by donation. And if I don't get a donation, I don't eat. And so far this month, I appreciate the fact that I did get $150 so far this month. And I appreciate all those donations that do come in, and it's nearly the end of the month. And where you can leave a donation is on that herbalhealthreview.com. And right on any of the pages, any of the reports, up on the top on the right-hand side, it says donation. So, so if you can, leave a donation of any size. It helps us keep going here. So that's the information that you need. The telephone number for betterhealthherbs.com. The manufacturer, that's Health and Herbs in Albany, Oregon, and their website is betterhealthherbs.com. And they've always got, they're so helpful. They're totally knowledgeable because I trained them myself. So you want to call betterhealthherbs.com, and that telephone number is 541-791-8400. That's 541-791-8400. That's the telephone number for any of the products that we're talking about. It's manufactured in Albany, Oregon by Health and Herbs. Their website is betterhealthherbs.com, and their phone number 541-791-8400. That's the necessary information that you're going to need. I mean, there's no sense of talking about something you can't find, you can't get, or that is overpriced, or you don't really know what the quality is. So these products that we're talking about, you're not going to be able to find in your health food store. These are directly to the manufacturer, and who happens to be my granddaughter. And right now, it's a very it's a family operation, and so she has her sisters, my granddaughter, other granddaughters, helping her in the ministry, and she manufactures all these natural remedies, and she does a wonderful job of doing it. She's incredible, actually. She holds the FDA off with one hand and manufactures all these things and answers the phone and does everything else with the other hand. Her name is Brittany. Her phone number, 541-791-8400. Those are the numbers you're going to need. Now, we've given you all the information where you can contact me. You can go on the website, herbalhealthreview.com and view all the reports and the videos and all the free information and everything so that you can, it's all right there. But I talked to somebody today who didn't have a computer, who couldn't see those reports. So you know what my answer was? No problem. You just call Brittany at 541-791-8400 and she will help you. You won't have to have a computer. You won't have to even have all you need is a telephone to call her up, and she'll make sure that you get the information that you need. And that's it. This system is a labor of love in the name of Jesus Christ. So whenever the demons pop up to obstruct helping people who are suffering, because this is what it's all about. People are suffering for lack of education, for lack of knowledge. It says so in the Bible. And someone has to care. I care. My daughter cares. My granddaughters care. My great-grandchildren care. And that's what this is all about. So now let's look at that report. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to put it on screen capture, and you'll be able to look at this report later. But I want you to see this report. I'm going to take and put this report over here. Where are you, report? Come on, report. Do I have it? I got it. Okay, I grabbed this report. I dropped it right there. Now I got to go over and grab me, put me right there in the corner there. Okay, now there I am in the corner. I don't know why it's doing that. I wish it wouldn't. Maybe if I do it that, it won't. No, that didn't help at all. So now I've really got to change this. Hold on while I fix my screen capture here, folks. I'm doing all this technical stuff, and that did not work. So now I've got to go back. Okay, I'm back where I was, back with this. I'm wondering how I can get rid of that if I could. Doesn't seem like I can. It just wants me to invite people, and I don't want to invite people. And I don't want bandwidth. I just want the screen capture. But that's what it's going to get. I got myself over here. There it is. Okay, now I got the screen capture, and I'm looking at myself, and I'm looking at this report that I wanted to share with you today. And it's dated August 15, 2016. That's August 15, 2016. And what it says is that, and this is from, by the way, from the ANH, which is the Natural Alliance for Natural Health. Alliance for Natural Health is a watchdog of the FDA and the health food industry. And here's their report. It says FDA, massive attack on supplements. And it goes on, and again, date is August 15, 2016. And here it is, August 25, 10 days ago. And the long-awaited revision of the FDA guidance rules, because the FDA makes all these rules, evil rules. And it goes on. The long-awaited revision of the FDA guidance rules for now supplements is finally here. It's very bad news. Highest level action alert. We normally publish our newsletter on Tuesday, but are sending out this issue today because of its urgency. What we are dealing with here, whether the supplement industry is allowed to innovate and create new supplements. The FDA, working as usual on behalf of the drug industry, says no, you may not create any new supplements. So, which is that the most ridiculous thing the FDA says? You can't create any new supplements. That's it. You're not allowed to innovate. We created a new rule. You're not allowed to do that. Is that ridiculous? It's insane. Anyway, the ANH goes on to say that we need your help to stop this right now. It'll take a huge effort on all of our parts, and we need to start immediately. Let's talk about this for a minute. What's going on? Over the last few years, one of the biggest issues facing the supplements industry has been the confusion over how to comply with the new dietary ingredient NDI provisions contained in the landmark Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994, the DSHEA, the main law governing supplements. For the layman, the new dietary ingredient is usually just government jargon for new supplement. I have to have a kombucha mushroom break here, folks. Okay? Hold on while I have a kombucha mushroom sip. Woo. Yeah. Okay. So, under the under the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994, called the DSHEA, any dietary supplement introduced to the market in the U.S. after 1994 is considered new, and an NDI and the manufacturer must notify the FDA at least 75 days in advance of marketing the product, and then, so they can refuse it. And in 2011, the FDA released a draft guidance set forth the agency's thinking on how companies should comply with the DSHEA's NDI requirements, how and when an NDI notification should be submitted, what information should be included, what is or is not considered an NDI, etc. The 2011 draft guidance was a massive broadside aimed at crippling, if not eliminating, the supplement industry. An economic analysis at the time by Emory University professor estimated that the FDA's outrageous interpretation of the DSHEA mandated NDI notification language would have meant, what it meant is the elimination of tens of thousands of supplements from the market, an industry-wide cost of between $2 billion and $165 billion in animal and human product safety studies to comply with the FDA's NDI notification protocols, and the loss of between 55,270 or upwards more like 104,475 jobs in the supplement industry are going to be lost. The ANH-USA and others submitted detailed comments to the FDA concerning its deeply flawed guidance document. And the ANH-USA members flooded the agency with comments. And after a major backlash of 146,000 pages of comments, Congressman Peter Roskam, Republican, Illinois, stepped in and said the FDA had reversed the intent of DSHEA, which was meant to expand, not restrict, consumer access to supplements. The ANH USA and our partners were then able to persuade Congress to add language to an appropriations bill urging the FDA to go back to the drawing board, and the agency eventually agreed. We have been waiting for the agency's updated draft ever since. And we need to keep in mind some history about this, in particularly why DSHEA was passed in the first place. In 1992, the FDA published its Task Force report on dietary supplements. It included the statement that dietary supplements represented a distinctive distinctive for patented drug research. This report, plus the news that the clinic of Dr. Jonathan Wright had been raided at gunpoint, later referred to as the Great B Vitamin Bust, sent shockwaves through every integrative doctor's office and every health food store in America. And I was there. And the news of this raid turned out to be the shot heard around the world for health freedom. Everybody got organized and started to fight back. And by 1994, over 2 million letters went to Congress, which led to the passage of the DSHEA. And Congress, for the first time, began to have an inkling that diet mattered greatly for health, and dietary supplements could make a great deal of difference in our diet. When President Bill Clinton signed the bill into law, he stated that it represented common sense. The draft of regulations governing new dietary supplements under DSHEA, arriving 22 years after the passage of the legislation, and further delayed after the disastrous first draft in 2011 was finally published last Friday. It's a little better in some respects, but the greatest problems remain. It represents a dire threat to the supplement industry and, by extension, consumer access to supplements. First, the improvements in the original guidance. The FDA had said that all dietary ingredients contained in supplements sold before 1994, but not marketed as a standalone dietary supplement, required a NDI notification. So if a green tea supplement marketed before 1994 also contained other natural dietary ingredients, the green tea would be grandfathered and not require an NDI, but the other ingredients would. An absurd stance that has been corrected in the new guidance. Now, dietary ingredients that were marketed as or were contained in dietary supplements before 1994 are grandfathered. And the FDA's new guidance also allows submission of NDI master files, which contain specifications and other information needed to completely describe an ingredient. If a company wants to make several products with the same ingredient, but at different dosages or concentrations, this could save a lot of time. These master files can also be shared with other companies to avoid excessive duplication. And also, everybody's going to steal each other's formulations is what's going to happen. And plus, you're giving the formulation to the government. It's no longer a secret formulation. Clever, very clever government ploy. Now, and that's my comment, folks. I interjected that. Let's go back to the report. There is still no authoritative list of grandfathered ingredients that do not need to submit NDIs. But the FDA has said in new guidance that it is willing to develop such a list based on independent and verifiable data. This appears to be just another stalling tactic. After 22 years of stalling, got that? 22 years of stalling. And then they come up with some ridiculous rule. Now, I'm sorry, again, I interjected. But we can be sure, that this goes on to say, we can be sure that the agency will keep the list as short as possible. Unfortunately, that is the extent of the improvements in the new guidance versus the first draft. Most of the other problems that were in the original guidance remain in the updated draft. The guidance imposes safety requirements on new supplements that are not even expected of drugs. Right. Yeah, it's more stringent. It's okay to poison you with a drug and have all these lawsuits against drugs, but we're going to make it even more stringent requirements on supplements. That's what they're doing. Now, the FDA goes on to say, the FDA describes how to determine what kind of safety studies to submit with an NDI notification. A note that safety studies in the past have been required of drugs, not of supplements. But now they want it of supplements as well, which will drive the cost of supplements sky high, making drugs more attractive because they're going to be almost the same price so people will try more drugs and less supplements, they're hoping. Not good. So, in addition, the agency states that additional safety studies may be needed if the target population changes. For example, if a history of safe use has been established with adults, but a substance will be used in a dietary supplement marketed for young children, the FDA would require another NDI notification. They just making a lot of busy work for themselves. Now, are the other drugs are other drugs even dangerous? Antipsychotics, antidepressants, and stimulants subject to similar requirements when they're used on children? The answer is no. In the FDA's own words, most drugs prescribed for children have not been tested in children. The same is true for the use with elderly people. The drugs have almost never been tested on elderly people. This makes the FDA's new position on supplements especially hypocritical. So that's why it's more difficult to have a supplement than it is to get a poison drug, a chemical that your body does not recognize. At best, short-term use. Over long-term, chemicals in your body get a bad reaction, and that's proven science. The section on investigational new drugs, INDS, also remains. These provisions could destroy the future availability of many supplements. The jargon used here in the guidance is confusing, probably intentionally so. So bear with the author of this report while he tries to explain it. Remember that an IND refers to a new drug, while an NDI refers to a new supplement. Under current law, if an IND application is filed for an ingredient, that is an ingredient that is being studied for use as part of a new drug, that ingredient can no longer be produced or included in a supplement if a NDI has not previously been accepted. This has already happened to pyridoxamine, a form of vitamin B6, even though in the end it resulted in this valuable form of natural B6 being no longer available either as a supplement or a drug. Just got banned. Natural B6 is banned by their rules. You can't find it anymore. And that's the beginning of the tip of the iceberg, because they want to melt the whole iceberg with their hateful agenda. Okay, I digress. Apparently the FDA couldn't care less that this form of natural B6 is no longer available in any form. They don't care. Indeed, it has been considering a petition to ban the whole remaining natural form of B6, the most important form of all, because all B6, synthetic or natural, must be converted to it in order for our bodies to use it. I'll say that again. Apparently, the FDA couldn't care less that this natural form of B6 is no longer available in any form. Indeed, it has been considering a petition to ban the only remaining natural form of B6, the most important form of all, because all B6, synthetic or natural, must be converted to natural B6 in order for our bodies to use it. Okay, so the FDA is really out to lunch. Anyway, in this guidance, the FDA explicitly, I'm going to say this, in this guidance, the FDA explicitly states that even when an IND is rescinded or does not lead to a new drug, the supplement form is still banned. Well, at least they admit what they're doing. That's it. They found a way to ban supplements until they can keep you so sick you got no choice. You got to go to the doctor and get some poison chemical drugs. That's the deal here, folks. And it goes on. I'm going to finish this up here now as fast as I can. but this report goes on. After a drink of water, I got to have some water.